Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Football Forecast. In today's video, I'm going to be going for my championship predictions for Game Week 42. And we're really getting down to the end of the championship season with only 5 games left. And the first game I'm going to discuss is the one on the Friday night between West Brom and Millwall. And going into this game, you would probably say Millwall are favourites, but West Brom haven't lost in their last 5. So maybe they could get a result in this game against Millwall. As well as this, they've looked a lot better under Morrison as the manager. Looking at Millwall's form going into this game, well, they'll be frustrated with the last result against Norwich because they weren't good enough. But before this, they had a really good result away at Borough, and then they've had a couple of other good results. For example, a draw away at Ipswich and a win away at Hull recently. And their away form going into this game is really good. And Millwall's away form going to this game is good. I think I am going to go with the Millwall win, but I think it's going to be a really tight game, and I really could see all 3 results. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Millwall away at West Brom. So then we're on to the next game, which is between Coventry and Wednesday. This could be the game that seals automatic promotion for Coventry if results go their way. And they wouldn't have been given an easier fixture than at home to Wednesday to potentially do it. And you'd expect this is going to be a simple win for Coventry. Wednesday haven't won in their last 5, and they're on -5 points. Look at Coventry's recent form. They picked up 10 points from their last 5 games. I think the only thing that could potentially stop Coventry in this game is Charles in goal. But despite this, I'm definitely going with the Coventry win. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Coventry over Wednesday. Then we're on to the next game, and it's a massive game. It's the East Anglian derby between Norwich and Ipswich. And this is definitely a game where I could see all 3 results. And it's a crucial game potentially for both sides. For Norwich, they've still got a slight hope at potentially getting in the playoffs, but it does look unlikely. Looking at Ipswich are currently second place in the championship, and they are the favourite to go up automatically, Ipswich, but Norwich will be looking to ruin their chances in this game. Looking at the recent form of the 2 sides, Norwich have picked up 10 points in their last 5 games, and crucially, they've been a completely different side under Clement, and they've just had a really good away win at Millwall, so they'll have some confidence going into this game. Looking at Ipswich, they haven't lost in their last 5, but they have drawn 3 out of 5 of those games. I think for this game, though, I may well go with the Norwich win. They're the home side, they're in good form going into this, and they've been a completely different side under Clement. So for all those reasons, I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Norwich over Ipswich, which will be a crucial win for Norwich and keep their playoff hopes alive, even though it is unlikely. What I would say about this game is, despite this result, I still think Ipswich still go up automatically. But there could be a huge dip in confidence if that result does happen. Then we're on to the next game, and it's between QPR and Bristol City. This is a rather boring game going into it. 2 sides, they're smack bang in the middle of the table. Bristol City are in 11th place, QPR are in 12th place, and neither side is going to be in the playoff contention. But Bristol City have started to improve since the appointment of Roy Hodgson. And looking at QPR have looked a lot better in their last 4 games, picking up 10 points. So this could be a hard game to call between QPR and Ipswich. I think I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw between these 2 sides because I think they're quite well matched going into it, and the table in the recent form would prove this. Then we're on to the next game, and that is between Charlton and Preston. 2 sides that I think should be fine for the rest of the season. Charlton, there's still a little bit of a concern around relegation, but they should be fine because they've got 8 points on Leicester with only 5 games left. And I actually could see them getting something from this game. What Charlton have been good at this season, I think, is sort of continuously picking up points. They haven't really had a massive dip like some of the other sides down near the bottom, like your West Broms or your Leicesters, who have been in really bad form at points in the season. And I think Charlton may get a good result in this game. Preston's form going to this game isn't great. They've only taken 5 points from their last 5 games. And I've been impressed with some of Charlton's performances recently, despite them only picking up 5 points in their last 5 games, the same as Preston. So for this reason, I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Charlton over Preston. Then we're on to the next game, which is between Leicester and Swansea. Leicester are coming off a really poor result away at Sheffield Wednesday, an absolute must win, but they couldn't find the result. And in their recent form, they've picked up 6 points in their last 5 games. What I would say about that Wednesday game is that they did have a lot of shots at goal, but Charles made some outstanding saves, and they were unlucky not to win it. But I'm still not letting them off for that result, because you've got to find a way to win against Wednesday, especially when you're desperate for points, when you're 22nd place in the Championship and you're running out of games. Looking at Swansea are going to have a bit of a boring finish for the rest of the season. They can't go down and they're not getting in the playoffs. They've picked up 5 points in their last 5 games, so they're on alright form going into this game. And I think I see another draw between these two sides. Swansea have drawn their last 2 games, so as Leicester. So I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw between Leicester and Swansea. I think the Pomnick up front is going to cause Leicester some real problems. So then we're on to the next game, which is between Borough and Portsmouth. And is this the game where Borough's form does turn around? Because recently they have been poor in terms of results. They haven't won in their last 5 games. Really frustrating for this Borough side, because their performances would suggest that they should be picking up a lot more points, but they simply right now just can't put the ball in the back of the net. What's also going to be crucial for this game is if Hackney and Whittaker are back. I think they're definitely struggling without Hayden Hackney, so if he's unavailable for this game, it could cause Borough some real problems. Looking at Portsmouth's recent form has also been poor. They haven't won in their last 5 games, only picking up 2 points, and it's left them in 21st place in the Championship. So on paper, it looks like a decent matchup for Borough going up against a side that are struggling. But if Portsmouth sit in and make this game difficult for Borough, then Borough will struggle, because we've seen them do this recently. But despite this, I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Borough over Portsmouth. I think this game they find a way to put the ball in the back of the net, and this would be a crucial 3 points for them. They desperately need 3 points in this game to Borough. It's a must win for them. Then we're on to the next game, which is between Oxford and Watford. Looking at Oxford's recent form going to this game, they picked up 6 points in their last 5 games. They were very lucky to get something in their last game, though, against Portsmouth, because they had some lucky decisions that went their way. In terms of the table, Oxford are 23rd place in the Championship, a point behind Portsmouth in 21st place. For Watford, I think Watford's season's pretty much done, and that's been shown in some of their recent performances. They haven't been at their best. And right now, I'm struggling to back either side to win this game. If I had to pick a favourite, I'd actually probably say Oxford. I think Oxford have been a difficult side to beat at home recently, and their recent results would say this. But instead, I'm going to go with a draw between Oxford and Watford, and I'm going to go with a 0-0 draw. I think this could be a pretty terrible game between these two sides. If someone was to win this game, I would say it would come from sort of a moment of brilliance. Maybe someone like Irakunda for Watford, who's got the ability to strike a ball brilliantly from outside the box, or maybe a set piece, which would favour a side like Oxford. Then we're on to the next game, which is between Sheffield United and Hull. And Sheffield United are currently 17th place in the Championship. Their season is done, and their recent form proves that they are feeling that as well, because they haven't won in their last 6 games. But despite this, I still think there's some decent performances from Sheffield United. For example, a couple of games ago against Wrexham, but they just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net in that one. And this has been a problem all season for Sheffield United, because they're actually ranked 4th on the XG table, if you believe in XG. And I could see a very similar game to what we've seen from Sheffield United this season, where they're often on top for a lot of the game, but then the opponents, this time being Hull, find a goal, and then Sheffield United basically just don't know what to do after this happens. So for that reason, I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Hull over Sheffield United. I think that's exactly what's going to happen, and it suits Hull's sort of playing style to sort of sit in a bit more and look to hit Sheffield United on the counter-attack. Hull's form going to this game is decent. They picked up 8 points in their last 5 games, but their performances have been lacking, I would say, for Hull. But Hull have got a lot more to fight for as well in this game, so I think that's another reason why I could see them getting a positive result, because they're currently fighting for playoffs. So then we're on to a crucial game for the playoffs between Southampton and Derby, and there is a crucial injury going to this game. Man is out for the season and beyond. Very sad for him. It looks like he's going to be out for about 9 months. So this will definitely affect them going into this Gameweek derby because he's been a key player for them this season. But they do have some good options with the likes of Carlton Morris that they can move into more of a striker position. In terms of our derby been playing recently, they've picked up 9 points in their last 5 games. They were very impressive, I thought, in their last game against Stoke, despite Stoke being poor in that game. And it leaves them 8th place in the Championship. And it leaves them 3 points away from Southampton, who are in 6th place going into this game. And Southampton are in outstanding form. They've been the best side now for about a couple of months, have Southampton. And they've also gone through to the FA Cup semi-final after a great result at home to Arsenal. And in their last Championship game, they won 5-1 away at Wrexham. And they've also recently picked up a really good result away at Coventry. So I'm expecting a Southampton win going into this game. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Southampton over Derby. If Southampton pick up that win, it would be absolutely crucial, and there would be 2 massive results for them in a row after winning against Wrexham in the previous game. For Derby, if this happens, that would be a decisive blow for them in terms of potentially going up through the playoffs. Then we're on to the next game, which is between Stoke and Blackburn. Blackburn recently have actually been quite good. They've picked up 8 points in their last 5 games, but they were terrible, I thought, in their last game at home to West Brom, drawing 0-0. Looking at Stoke, I was really disappointed with Stoke's last game against Derby, and it's fair to say they are on the beach. They're currently 13th place in the Championship, smack bang in the middle of the table, but they have actually picked up 7 points in their last 5 games. So it's not been awful form for Stoke going into this, and they've always got the threat of Sorba Thomas, what a player he is. And they've always got a threat with Sorba Thomas. I think for this game, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw between these two sides. I think Blackburn would be quite happy to settle for a draw in this game because all they need to do now is sort of pick up a couple more points and they should be safe. And I do expect Blackburn to be safe now. So then we're on to the next game, and it's between the two sides that went up automatically from League One last season, and it is between Birmingham and Wrexham. Birmingham's season is over. It's that simple. They're 16th place in the Championship, and they've got no chance of playoffs, and they're not getting relegated. Looking at Wrexham, it was a really disappointing result for them in their last game at home to Southampton, and they need to respond here with a win. In terms of some of their other performances, they took 7 points in their other 4 games, so it's not awful for Wrexham. In terms of Birmingham's form, they picked up 4 points in their last 5 games, but they did lose their previous 3, and Chris Davies is under a lot of pressure, and it looks like he will be sacked at the end of the season. For this game, I think I'm going to go with the Wrexham win despite that poor result in their last game at home to Southampton. I'm going to go with a 1-0 away win for Wrexham over Birmingham. So that is the end of the fixtures for game week 42, but there are some catch-up fixtures which I'm just going to quickly discuss, basically just saying my result. And the first one is between Portsmouth and Ipswich, 2 sides at the opposite end of the table. Portsmouth's form is poor going to this game. Ipswich form is alright, and I just think Ipswich are going to have too much quality for a side like Portsmouth, so I'm going to go with a 2-0 away win for Ipswich in this game. So then we've got the other game, which is between Southampton and Blackburn, and 2 sides at the opposite end of the table once again, and Southampton are in great form going to this game. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Southampton over Blackburn. Southampton are really starting to play well, and I think they will win this game comfortably. Let me know your thoughts on these championship predictions for game week 42 as well as the extra games. And if you enjoy this video, go subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as liking the video.